The Open Multiple Files feature in Offline Sorter was designed to collectively analyze multiple files collected using the same experimental setup, but at different times. Some examples of when this might be useful include doing multiple recordings with each subject during the same experiment. For example, recording the same animal across several behavioral sessions. As an added benefit, using this feature speeds up the sorting process since you only have to sort data for each animal once. Another instance where this feature may be helpful is if a session or group of recordings was saved in multiple data files, but you want them in a single file. This may have occurred due to the interruption of your recording or intentional pauses between recordings. Let's look at an example of using the Open Multiple Files feature. In the Open File dialog, hold Control to select multiple files. You must select at least 2 files. In the Load Multiple Files window, more files can be added. Offline Sorter will align the files end to end in the order they are listed. You can choose to align them based on when the file was recorded. The files can be arranged back to back without any gap, or you can set a small time gap between the files to clearly differentiate them. Each Open Multiple Files session will save an OMF file. This file saves the information in the Load Multiple Files window, including which files were used. So if you need to reopen a sorting session, opening the OMF file will correctly select which files were included, reducing errors from having to manually select files each time. Before loading these files, I detected waveforms. Here you can see those detected waveforms. If I zoom out in the timeline view, you can see that Offline Sorter has added a gap between my files so that I can clearly differentiate them. Now when I sort waveforms, the units will encompass waveforms across all my files. Once I've done some sorting, I want to save the sorted units. Importantly, I want to save the sorted units back into their original non-merged file. When saving, you will be prompted to name a new OMF file. The OMF file contains information on the files with the sorted information, while the previous OMF file you saved has data on the non-sorted files. Each file used in the Open Multiple Files will be saved individually with their original file name appended with a number. These files contain the sorted unit waveforms and are recognized by the newly saved OMF file. If you want to save the data as one large file, you can export the data into a new PL2 file. Now, if you want to go back and work on the same files, you load the OMF file. The OMF file will automatically select the files and you can pick up from where you left off in your sorting. Now that we've seen how to use this feature, here are some tips for using it to its full advantage. This feature is compatible with PL2 files. All files must have the same number of channels and the same data sources. Use the batch processing feature to filter wideband data and detect waveforms consistently across files prior to using Open Multiple Files. Avoid long data processing times by using PL2 files that have only essential data sources like detected waveforms and events. Saving back into individual non-merged files cannot be used if waveforms are detected or redetected in Open Multiple Files mode. If you have any further questions, please contact us at support@plexon.com.